But
And
we are on a roll already.
so we are already starting, dude. That's like, man, I don't
Your
know
mic
what's
seems
going
low
on.
tonight.
What seems low?
Your mic.
Oh, my settings off? No, that's right.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's weird. Oh,
More.
Caveman's already in here. What's going on?
Yeah.
Man, this is gonna be an interesting topic, bro. Cursed objects.
Yeah, this is the first one. So
First one.
it's an interesting one. This is one
Rattle.
I'd never heard of until you mentioned it.
Yeah, and it's like in the top 10.
Yeah. So I was like, dude, the research on this was fun. I gotta say.
It was actually pretty cool. I found some interesting things.
Yeah.
I can't give any spoilers away, but I think that's nice. Discussions are going to be pretty entertaining when it comes to these things. I got a couple questions about this
Undecided.
thing, so I think it's just time to hit the intro and let's get her going.
Let's talk about it. All right, let's hit the intro.
Spirits.
Welcome in, everyone, to another episode of Spirits with Spirits. I am your host for Ghosts, Mr. John Watkins, and everybody knows and loves the host with the most, Mr. David Lowe. Man, we got some people in here already. I'm loving it. There's my wife, Ceci, saying hello to everybody.
I'm liking it, man. I love you guys being on here.
Corey coming in saying, what's up? Did I say that right? Was that right?
You got it right.
I got it right.
You got it right.
Then we got a guy showed up. Hey there, everyone. Hi. Hit the like button. Appreciate
that.
We got Chris the Slasher dude in the Instagram already.
What is up, Chris? All right. Yeah. That's good to see. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a special night kind of for us. Oh, look at that. That's spicy. Yeah, there's Reed right there with Spicy. Yeah.
He's
He knows
back.
my name.
Miss Caveman's in the house.
Caveman. How's it going? Special night tonight, guys. It's a first for us. Well, not necessarily really a first for us. We have talked about attached objects and things like that before, but this is kind of us going more diving even deeper, I guess you would say, Dave, really focusing on one specific one. So it's going to be interesting. I think the subject matter is great. I know I got the Goddess of Death statue down there at the bottom on the background there. It is the Woman of Lamb, Lemb. Yeah, you gotta really pronounce that MB, Lemb.
It's autocorrect you if I'm looking for Women of Lemb Statue. I got statues of sheep. Like, and I'm like, no, lamb, not lamb. And
not
like,
lamb.
Were you looking for lamb statues? No, lamb.
But so, this is an interesting
It's an interesting little piece of history. Like
Yeah.
it's got some great historical punch to it. And
Yes.
then also, you guys, there's a whole new scoring system that we've developed for the haunted artifacts.
Yeah.
Uh, and we're going to be doing a whole new scoring thing. So we're gonna actually walk through those. As when we get to the scoring, we're going to walk through each one and kind of describe what each one's going to be. So I don't even know how our preliminary scores are going to look.
I think they're gonna
But
be a little weird.
I think they're going to be a little off. Because we're gonna figure things out. Um, but yeah, man, this is gonna be fun.
It's gonna be
I'm
fun.
excited.
I'm interested in the on the opinion of everybody in the chat and everything. See what they think about this cursed object, because some of the stuff that I found in the research is quite interesting. And I can't wait to really dive in and kind of get into the discussion here. I don't know. It feels new, right? I mean, because we've talked about it a little bit before with haunted objects, but never really dived really deep into them.
Sorry.
And so, I mean, besides like Robert the Doll,
Yeah, I think
well,
Robert
that
the
again
Doll
was
was
a
the deepest we ever went.
location with Robert the Doll in it, and so we
Yeah.
didn't. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that this. I can't wait to get into this discussion with you. With that said, Dave, were you shocked on your research on
Yeah, I gotta say I was. I mean, I didn't know about this artifact, and I was like, wow, there's some shit going on with this thing. That
this shit's got some shit?
yeah, because I mean, we're thinking of the obvious ones. We're thinking of the Annabelle doll and and even doing Robert again as a haunted object and kind of
Oh,
score
yeah.
it that way. Which is great because I already have the history thing done for him. So
How do I use it?
I don't.
No.
What do you mean no? but we start. But there was one that I was like, dude, I want to talk about this artifact, and it's
Yeah.
what we're gonna do on Scare Network.
Yeah.
But
that's gonna be another interesting discussion too.
that's gonna be interesting. It's something that is like I've always thought about as a kid, and
Oh yeah, huge historical moment.
huge historical reference, and it's a really cool thing. And then there's so when I had that's when we started working our way toward the Woman of Lemb statue.
Yeah, because we want to
Being our
stay
second one because we're trying to keep with a theme, like trying to do
Sure.
two relatively similar
some
artifacts.
that coincides with each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this one was really interesting. And I gotta say and I don't even want to call it the history of it, but the history of it. I'll open it in a minute. Just calm down. Actually, I already opened my beer. What are you drinking tonight, bro?
I'm doing some rum and coke over here.
Oh, there you go. I
with
got
my Jack glass that my lovely wife made.
nice. I got the Sapporo Black going.
Oh, yummy. Yeah, I was at a basketball game, so I didn't have time to grab beer. So rum and coke it is.
Yeah, I've got my beer cabinet, so I can just go. And my pantry is now like a second fridge because it's cold. So I just walk and grab it, and I can just drink it. I don't even have to worry about it. But
K-Man's over on Instagram showing love from over there. Chris, the slasher dude, says, "Evening, gents." Good evening, Chris, the slasher dude.
Good evening, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I say, Dave, I'm pretty sure I saw a history video in here, didn't I?
Yep. There's a history video.
All right. Nice little short history video here. Let's go ahead and roll that. And then that way we can kind of get into the discussion here. Cause I'm interested to kind of fire away at this thing
here.
Yeah. So yeah, let's take a look. And I will apologize if this doesn't come out because I I haven't been firing on all cylinders today. So I've been a little scatterbrained, but I did get it together in time. So yeah, let's take a look at the history of the Women of Lemb statue. Check this out. There is a lot to uncover beneath the shifting sands and crumbling rocks of history. In just the last century, archaeologists have found many coveted remnants from a long time ago. Museums, merchants, and private collectors alike seek these items for the very chance to own a piece of the past. That can be quite tempting. Unless, of course, that piece carries with it a curse of death. Such is true of the Women of Lemb statue. In 1878, a small statue carved from pure limestone was uncovered in Lemb, Cyprus. This statue dates back to 3500 BCE, a time called the Chalcolithic period, or the Copper Age, when its large deposits of copper gave Cyprus a position of economic strength in the region. The design is similar to the hundreds of other cross-shaped statues uncovered from the same time period, but nothing was the same as this one. These statues come in all manner of sizes. It is believed that the smaller ones were placed at burial sites, whereas the larger statues were used for more ceremonial purposes. Oddly enough, there are no archaeological records of the excavation or even the discovery of the Women of Lemb statue. The records only state that it was discovered in 1878, but no details as to who discovered it or where. Originally considered to be a fertility statue or depiction of a goddess whose name was lost to time, the absence of surface detail had made it impossible to match with any other works. As far as we know now, the Women of Lemb statue is an artifact of singular origin. Regardless of the origin of the statue, it is said to have a curse upon it, that anyone who either owns or even touches the object can meet their untimely demise. Because of this, the Women of Lemb statue has earned the name Goddess of Death. The statue is so feared that it is kept in a fully enclosed glass case. Still believed to be cursed even today, no one is allowed to touch the artifact without wearing gloves. The gloves are off as we review this artifact to find out if this limestone statue is truly cursed, or if we're just taking it for granted.
That was crazy. My ghost tube just said, "Bring it to me."
Here.
It's all "bring it to me." So, whoa. So I want to touch bases on that a little bit. So in this, what do they call it? I can't say the word. The period that this was found in, or is from, 3500 BC,
the Copper Age.
The Copper Age,
Yeah,
where they had a lot of these different cryptolocks, or whatever you call them. Is that what it's called?
Criminal.
Teolock or something like that. Some weird fucking name I can't pronounce. There's a bunch of them, but this one is different than all the others.
Yeah, this one is completely unique, and they couldn't find any. They found like over 100 of these statues, all in this cross type form, and a lot of them look the same or similar. And then there's this one.
Yeah, then you have this one that has prominent hips, no real features with the legs. I mean, what really makes them stand equal to each other is the outwards arms, making it almost like a cross shape.
Right.
But they've never found another one like this, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
That how the uniqueness is, and I thought it was very suspicious that there are no records of its findings, no record of who even went and did the dig and found it.
Yeah, it was found in 1878, and that's all they know. They don't know. They don't have a name on who found it, what dig it was, where they were in Cyprus, where they found it. It was just all of a sudden it was there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's weird.
Now here's the other weird thing. is, it's in the Scotland Museum, which was known as at the time, it wasn't known as the Scotland Museum. It was known as the Royal Scottish Museum in
Right.
Edinburgh.
Right.
At the time when it got placed there, they have no records of it.
Yeah, they have no record of how they got it. It's just
They have no record. It's not even on their website that listed that they even have it.
Yeah, it's just there,
locked behind glass. I thought that was very strange, very very strange.
Yeah.
And that's not even the strangest thing about it.
No.
One, I mean, it's made out of pure limestone, which I guess a lot of these were.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean that's got to be a heavy son of a bitch.
Yeah,
that thing's
pure
big.
limestone.
Like if that was on my desk, it'd be like,
yeah, it'd be good.
And most of the time they're,
most of the statues are like this, and then they had some that were bigger that they feel were for ceremonies and stuff, and then the smaller ones they were finding at the burial sites. So they were like being buried with these things.
And
but this one was like, it's like right in between.
Yeah.
And pure limestone. So it's solid.
Run away.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then it's just weird how there's no record of it.
Yeah. Chris // says, I believe in it. Some items are just cursed. It's proven fact. Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. But this is again just one that me and David never really heard of. And we find this Woman of Lamb, the goddess of death statue, that got dug up in 1878 in Cyprus, which is right there in Egypt. So it's very
right there in the Mediterranean. It's like
so it's crazy though.
3500 BC. So this thing's 5,500 years old.
Yeah, and they were thinking that it was a fertility statue.
Yeah.
At first.
Yeah.
And I think they still believe that it possibly could be a fertility statue.
There is some reference to that. They believe it could be a fertility statue, or it could be, some sort of goddess.
Yeah.
That maybe they, that's just lost to time that we don't know about, that they worshipped, because it's weird that it's unique. It's all by itself. There's no other statues like it. So I don't know. But yeah, when it was talking about being a fertility statue, I got my Star Trek on, and I was talking about Jamaharon, and then I'm like,
watching you.
Thanks, watching me. I was just laughing about that, but this, I don't know. There's more to this statue than meets the eye. I mean, number one, we all know about limestone.
Yes, very very kinetic energy when it comes to the paranormal.
Yeah. So there's got to be some sort of energy to it.
Yeah.
But
who is she?
That's my wife. Leave her alone.
Mine's not here right now.
But so before it got to the Scottish Museum,
weird things.
It moved between 4 families, and each one had let's just say issues when they had it in their possession. And when the first one, which is the one I wanted to talk about first.
I can't leave.
I know you can't. You'll be okay.
Lord Elfort or something like that.
Lord Elfont was the first owner, and it was during the time that Cyprus was owned by the British. It was a British colony.
Yes.
So bought the statue, and within 6 years of buying the statue, he and 7 members of his family died. In 6 years.
Him and all 7 members of his family dead within 6 years.
Yep.
Of owning this thing.
Yeah. So it's 8 people in 6 years dead.
lost his whole bloodline. Gone.
Yep. And then sometime later, it goes in the possession of this guy, Ivor Minucci.
Yeah, somehow it ends up in Europe now.
Right.
So it goes from Cyprus with Lord Elfont owning it and his family, him and his family dying, ending up in Europe, where Ivor Minucci ends up taking ownership of it.
Right. And then his entire family dies within 4 years.
Him and his entire family dead. 4 years.
Don't leave.
It's like, okay, there's like 13 people dead now. John Doe Juggalo. Good evening, everybody.
What's up,
That's what
Jeff?
this is.
That's Jeff.
It says, hello, Jeff. I says, do we know how many of these family members died who are in possession of the statue? Yes, we're getting there, Reed. We are getting there.
We are absolutely getting there. So,
Emmett says, hey guys, from Instagram.
Oh, hey Emmett. He's gonna try to talk about movies, so be careful.
Oh yeah. He's a movie guy. It's all right.
It's okay.
So there's like 13 people dead now.
Yeah. And this is just in I'm getting a call. And it's Amanda, so let's see what's going on. Hello.
I'm trying to park. Come get the potato.
You're on live on Spirits with Spirits.
What's up? Somebody come get the potato. Trying to park.
Okay.
In the way.
Parked the car in the garage.
Park the car because the dog's in the yard. Okay.
Dog's in the yard. I gotta park the car in the garage. What are you doing? Come get the dog.
Okay. Mama's coming out to get the potato.
Angel.
Bye. All right. That was great. So then there was this other guy.
Yeah, sir.
The third
no,
owner.
Lord Thompson.
Lord Thompson.
Lord Thompson Noel.
Right.
Third owner.
Right.
Right.
Right. So, and then, yeah, and his whole family dies within 4 years.
Dead. This thing is just wiping out bloodlines.
Wiping out bloodlines to anybody that own it. So, but yeah, there were no records of Lord Thompson Noel or the fourth guy, Sir Alan Biverbrook.
I'm not
yes,
sure.
Sir Alan Biverbrook. Now this is the interesting one. This was the last owner, original owner of the statue.
Right.
Now him, his wife, and 2 daughters die.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got 2 sons left.
Right. And they just went and gave the thing to the museum.
They're like, oh, hell no. You need to take this.
You can have this, mama.
But it doesn't end there.
Yeah.
It doesn't end there. So the museum gladly takes it. They're like, this is an amazing piece. There's nothing like it. And the original curator who takes this from this family, from the Biverbrook sons, dies within a year of handling it.
Yep.
And getting it under glass.
Yeah.
And they pretty much lock the key and be like, no, nobody's touching this thing ever again.
No. Anybody touches it, they're wearing gloves. Otherwise, it's in locked case, never to be touched again.
It gets no human contact. I mean, they literally have to wear specialized gloves to touch this thing and clean it.
Yeah. But that's what they say. Anybody who owns it or touches it dies.
to believe that this thing is a statue of fertility and watching it knock out bloodlines.
I'm thinking it's a statue of infertility.
Where is it?
It's in Scotland, I think. It's in Edinburgh.
I don't know how to explain this.
No.
The one thing, crazy. I mean, it's made of pure limestone. So, I mean, it's definitely made of this earth.
Right.
But do you think this is something that's even part of this earth? Do you think it could be from somewhere else? Sorry, I'm late saying hello, Jeff. I was posting a joke.
Strong.
I did a joke at the end of my history video, but but yeah, I'm wondering.
So Spicy, that's one thing they don't really dive in deep to. I'm sorry, Dave. He asked how they died, not how many. It doesn't go into
really
detail
say
on
how they died, just that they died. Just
yeah.
I'm sure it's all manner of things that could either be deemed as natural or like an accident or something happened. But to have 4 families in a row
leave.
I mean, aside from the last 2 sons,
Sure.
everybody died.
Yeah,
in the bloodline. And then the curator gets it. I mean, I'm sure it could, heart attack or whatever, but still it's got to be more than a coincidence that all these people connected to this statue die quickly.
Yeah.
Imbecile.
After taking possession. Yeah, I think that's stupid. I'm not going to own that statue. Hell no.
No.
Did they die from penetration since it's a sex object? Man, maybe they rammed themselves. I don't know. It was
no butt stuff.
No butt stuff on the show, caveman. Maybe that's why the boy survived.
It's interesting because I don't know. It feels like it's almost like not of this earth, and maybe it's contaminated with radiation or something, or something
that'd be interesting.
Seeps into the skin, or for long periods, prolonged periods of time being around this object, dying of radiation poisoning. Because back then you wouldn't think about radiation poisoning because Madame Curie hadn't thought about that shit yet. And now it's under glass, so it's protecting other people from that radiation poisoning. And that's what makes me think of maybe it's not from this world or timeline. It's gone through some sort of warp and pulled all this radiation, or maybe it's I don't want to say it's meteoric, maybe it's, a meteor fell from the sky and then somebody made it out of it, but I don't know. There's something there that's creating everybody dying. What's up, Rich? There's something going on here that's causing this death.
Yeah. And I mean, but it seems like it has to be by touch, right? Not just being in its proximity. A glass case isn't going to keep you from getting sick if it's irradiated.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, I mean, depending on the thickness of the glass, it can.
I'm wondering if it's not a curse at all. I'm wondering if there's something like
chemically involved with
touching. There's some kind of chemical itself. Yeah, some chemical reaction. It does say that if limestone becomes irradiated, that it can alter its structure. It alters its form. So maybe if it did become irradiated, maybe the stone itself is now like
a toxic form of the limestone.
Form of the limestone. So if you touch it with your bare skin, it can mess with you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for that. This thing's fucking cursed and has killed 4 fucking families. I'm
Yeah.
all for it, but I'm also looking for an explanation too. You know, I don't want to just say, oh, this thing's cursed.
To say, okay, what other possibilities? You know, and also you're thinking limestone. And I'm like, okay, what if there's some kind of energy in here
Yes.
that can take lives? That can, you know, what if it's a soul stealer?
Yeah. No. Now I'm gonna throw. Here's another piece of interesting stuff I found out in the research that this is all bullshit.
Goodbye.
Okay, goodbye.
Sorry.
That every single one of these stories, the time frame that this happened is all BS.
Lady of the night.
Oh, got the grandbaby.
My
It's a
baby.
Piper who looks tired.
Yeah, she was sleeping.
Had a car ride, passed out.
Mhm.
Okay, grandchild break.
Grandchild break. Grandchild. I know she's tired, or else she'd have taken my headset and wanted to
Yeah.
talk to you.
Oh no, I saw the way she moved and just put her head right into your shoulders, like,
Right.
oh, she tired.
She needs up. No, Yoki, down. And the dog's trying to jump on her.
Hasn't learned that rule yet.
No, he's a jumper.
Do you guys believe in the legend of the slit mouth? That's one we didn't discuss.
Slipmouth. They came in on Instagram.
Yeah.
Was that a?
Emmett.
Yeah. We were talking about that.
We almost did that one.
We almost did that as one of our cryptids. We almost talked about it.
Yep. I said that's what I said. We didn't talk about it, but we did discuss it off channel.
Yeah.
Fear.
But I did find an article where they say everything about this is BS, that this statue is not in Scotland. It is, which is why you can't find it on the records. It's in a museum in Cyprus. It was found by a man in 1970 by the name of Professor Edgar Holtenberg, who died in 2016. Now, in the article, it says you can take 5 minutes and find out all the information about this thing. Okay, I took those 5 minutes. In fact, I went to that museum's website. It's not on the records.
Okay.
I went to their list of artifacts and all that stuff, not on the records, which is crazy because I had to use a translation thing because it's in Egyptian. You know, it's in Cyprus. So I had to use Google Translate to translate the whole webpage for me. It was crazy.
She won't leave.
But it's not listed on their website either. Then I dug even deeper into Professor Edgar Holtenberg. Now he's a Canadian professor who is prominent in digs and archaeological digs and things like that in Egypt and around Cyprus. He was there. He did a lot of digging there. But there's no record of him when I looked up all his stuff that he found the Lady of Lemb or the Woman of Lemb or the Goddess of Death. So I did my due diligence. It says you can just go right there and find it, and it's not there.
Look, it's Uncle John.
Piper.
Oh, now you want the headset?
You want to say hi?
Want to say hi?
Are you waking up?
Got it. Oops. Oops. Got it. Fix. There you go.
Hi, Piper. Are you waking up from your nap? Did you have a nap in the car ride? Yeah.
Say hi.
Was it a good nap? What do you think about the statue? Is it a good statue or a bad statue? You're like, nope.
Bye-bye.
You're not talking about movies. Bye-bye.
Not talking about movies.
is that we can get down on some Elsa.
Except me. Oh, thank you. That's not right. That's better. That's better. Thank you. That fixed? Movie, huh?
Movies. You gonna watch a movie?
Not gonna watch a movie right now, but maybe Mama watch a movie with you. Yoki down.
Oh, that gnocchi. He just wanting to jump on you.
Yep.
I know. Piper's acting like she had to come carry the potato in. She's all tired.
She's still a little groggy. Movie?
A
Oh,
movie?
okay. We're gonna wait for Mama, okay?
What's her favorite movie?
Okay. What's your favorite movie? Which one?
All of them.
You like Minions?
Oh, I love the Minions.
Minions, yeah. She likes
Yeah.
Minions.
Love me some Minions.
You like
No.
Pets?
Oh,
Yeah, go-
Pets. Or Super Pets. Ooh, Super Pets.
Secret Life of Pets. She likes that one.
Oh, Secret Life of Pets. See, that's a good one too. Part 2,
Yep.
not so great. Part 1, pretty good. Is she ready for Toy Story 20?
Yeah, every once in a while she likes Toy Story, but not too much. Sometimes she gets into like cars. Like she likes cars for about a month and then she's done.
Done.
And then she doesn't want to watch that anymore. You want to take her back now? No.
No, Mama's been with me all day.
Papa, that's me.
Who is she?
That's Piper.
That's Piper.
That's Piper.
She
But
said my
I
name.
did. Yeah, Papa. But I did the due diligence. I looked into all that, and they, the article's like, you can go right here and you'll find it. Nowhere in the records.
Not there.
Not even a picture of it. Look up Professor Edgar. Nothing about him, and there's tons of information of the digs that he's been on, but nothing about the Woman of Lemb. Nothing at all. I was like, this is interesting. So you have this one article that says, no, it's all BS. You can go here and here and find all this stuff, and you can't find it. It's not there.
Yeah.
And then you have these other articles saying, no, this is what it's all about. And there's article upon article upon article about that.
Yeah.
So do we take the quality over, or do we take the quantity beating the one story? I mean, because there's, there's 3 other podcasts that have talked about this thing.
Yeah.
That I've listened to, and they were pretty good as well. I don't follow them, but it was part of the research. I was like, oh, let's see what this guy has to say about it. And they're pretty much saying the same thing that we're discussing here. But there's only this one article saying it's all BS. And
right.
I go to its resources and you can't find the resources to back up them saying that it's BS.
You're back.
Yes,
but
I'm back.
There is suspicion though, with no records on either side.
Yeah.
Of this dig and it being found. I find that very suspicious on both sides.
Invisible.
Eric Lowe gave us a like. Appreciate it.
Maybe it's invisible.
It's invisible. I know it. I think it's very suspect, the lack of information on the dig when they found this. I don't care what side you're on, whether it's BS or not BS on these other stories, but it's very suspicious that there's no information on this dig, and finding this very rare statue.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no other one like
understands.
Yeah.
I get it. There's no other one like this. Out of all the period ones that were made at that time. This is unique to all of them. This, and there's no
Martha.
record of it. Something finding something this unique. There's no record of it. That's suspect.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm reading this thing and I'm going, okay, this is odd. You've got an artifact that seems to just magically appear.
Right? And kills everybody it touches.
And kills everybody it owns it.
Or maybe it doesn't. Or maybe it doesn't. You know, I'll put it up there. Or maybe it doesn't.
You know, maybe that's coincidence, but that's what, 30 people that it's killed?
At least.
And apparently, allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
Yeah. The last two owners, there's no record of them owning it.
No.
Just that
there's
the two
no
sons
record
showed
of
up
them giving it to the museum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no record. It just okay. So there's this void of information, which is really interesting because usually, especially with an artifact, the provenance, which is one of the things that we're gonna score on this, is important. They keep detailed records of what happens to this artifact over time, where it goes, where it stays, who owns it, how long they own it, and when it gets passed on to the next person.
It's the chain of custody.
Exactly. That's the provenance.
I had to look up that word to find out what the hell it meant. It's like, oh, chain of custody. I know that. Okay. Makes more sense.
I was gonna explain it when we do the scoring, but yeah,
I had to look it up.
I love you. Are you leaving? Love you. Oh, thank you. Okay. So yeah, this is where you're like, okay. And I think the absence of these records makes it all the more intriguing. So did this artifact just magically appear? Was it sent by something?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing with me is like, okay, maybe it's not alien.
Please listen.
Okay. Yeah. Please listen. Maybe it's not alien. Maybe it's godly. You know how I feel. You know, I'm not religious. I believe the religion is organized. Religion is the corruption of religion, is the poison of religion itself. I'm not a Bible thumper or a Quran thumper or any of that. But I do believe in all the gods. I believe gods exist. I think if you believe in one, why not believe in all of them?
Right.
If you believe in Santa Claus, why not believe in Jesus Christ? You know what I mean? It's
exactly.
Why is he here?
He's the co-host of the show. That's why. Well, he's the host of the.
I'm supposed to be here. I got the most.
But what if it's sent here through divine power?
It's possible.
It's possible.
What if it was sent here through divine power and the mortal hand can't touch it?
Mortal hands can't touch it. Or is it something like a Pazuzu statue where it's demonic and it's supposed to kill you?
Yeah.
I mean, what if this was the intent of the statue, was to kill everybody it touches, which is why there's only one of them.
It came as a false idol, as a fertility goddess idol.
Right.
It's a false idol.
Yeah, it's a false
designed
idol.
to kill.
Yes.
Yeah, that's some good shit. That's some good shit, bro. See, this is why I wanted to get into this discussion. This is why I wanted to discuss this thing, because I saw it. I was like, man, this thing sounds cool. We should talk about it. And then I started doing the research. Like, this is going to be a great discussion, because I think, the people dying is the people dying, but it having no records of where it came from.
Yeah. Why? Why is there no records?
and
Everything else is
records of
clearly
the
documented.
digs on either
Yeah.
side.
Yeah. Everything else they've
There's
uncovered
two.
in the last century or so is documented. Everything
Yeah.
where they found it, they have a diagram of where it was in the dig
Yeah.
site. This one's got
Yeah.
nothing. There's nothing. It just
Nothing.
has a year. 1878. We found it. It appeared in somebody's tent. And
1878 in Lemb, Cyprus. It was found.
Mhm.
They did the research on it, the carbon dating on it, took it back to 3500 BC, which makes it 5500 years old. And that's it.
And that's it. And then
chain of custody,
supposedly went
everybody
under the
dies that
owner.
touches it.
Yep.
Allegedly. Where did it come from? And that's what bugs me about this whole thing. Because I was like, okay, I found a BS article. Let's look into it. Maybe this can give me insight where it came from and everything. And it tried. It really did. And then you dig deeper and it's poof. Nothing. Like nothing. Like you can't find nothing. And Edgar Poltenberg dies in 2016. And you can pull up his stuff and it has a bunch of stuff on his digs that he went to in Egypt and stuff like that. But when it talks about you try to find anything about the Lady of Lemb or the Woman of Lemb or the Goddess of Death, nothing associated with his name.
Stop recording.
I think we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
This is a very suspect object. And I have a feeling it I don't know if I want to say it just appeared or what, or if I mean, I don't know. That's what throws me with this thing.
Yeah. That's the rub. There's no rhyme or reason. There's nothing on the other end of the equal sign.
Quickly.
Yeah.
As to where it came from. And I guess I got to go faster. So, and it was just really, really strange doing the history on it. Cause I'm like, okay, so then I'm not seeing any records. And then
Neil.
I didn't, and now it's telling me to kneel. Okay. If it's, we'll see about that. But this is this is a statue that, I mean, it's unique. There's no, because they couldn't even, looking at this artifact and comparing it to the other cross-shaped statues that they've picked up in Cyprus, the 100 or so that they found.
Yeah.
They couldn't even find a commonality in the artist.
No, that's the thing. There's no, besides it generally looking like some of those, like those, there's no commonality with the artist. There's the differences are just have as much weight as the similarities. And it's crazy how unique this thing is, and nobody's taking credit for it. That's like finding a new star and not naming it your name. It's like, new star. NASA will find it eventually.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. and where it came from, it just blows my mind. It's like, okay, you did the carbon testing on it to find out it's 5,500 years old, but where did it come from?
Yeah.
Why is it so different? Where's the records for the digs?
Yeah.
Whether it be in 1878 or 1970, where's the records for the digs? They're not there.
Yeah.
It feels like almost like a government cover-up type shit.
I was thinking the same thing.
It's very, very weird. Very weird. Now, is there a curse associated with this? Very possibly. very possibly this could
I think-
be a cursed object, whether it be divine or demonic. It could definitely be a cursed object.
Yeah.
Or is there something natural happening in killing these things that can be explained chemically? I think again that's very possible.
Yeah.
That chemically, being 5,500 years old, it might not have the same composition that it did when it was originally made, and it could be poison to the touch. It's a very interesting two-sided coin with this thing. And I was like, I'm serious. I'm doing the research. I'm like, I can't wait to talk about this. This is gonna be very interesting. I was like, I wonder how Dave's gonna feel about that. How where Dave sits on the side of coin here, because again, this is kind of a new scoring system that we're utilizing.
Yep.
And kind of hearing your thoughts, you feel it feels like you're just as confused on this thing as I am after doing the research.
Yeah.
It felt like after spending hours of research on this thing, it left
What
you
is
with
this?
more questions than answers. What does yours say?
Mine said it's here.
Oh, mine said, "What is this?" And yours says it's here. Interesting.
All right. Are you ready to try to score this thing?
You know, Dave, I think I'm ready to try and score this thing.
Okay.
I think I am.
So the first category is attachment. Now, this is not only if we feel there is an attachment to the object, but that the object has an attachment to people.
Okay.
Okay, so we're looking at a score based on what we think the attachment is.
Hey,
Okay.
Okay. So this was interesting. So I feel, this particular thing, I mean, it seems to kill anybody that touches it.
Yes.
And I would consider that some form of attachment,
Yes.
because this thing is appearing to people. And with the last two, there was no record of them buying it. They just had it.
They just
The
had
last two, they just had it.
it. They ended up finding it in their cellar, is what I found.
Yeah.
Like it just
With the last
appeared
one,
in
right?
their cellar.
Biverbrooke. Yeah.
games.
With the Biverbrooks.
This is my
They
place.
just
Yeah.
found it in their cellar.
Yeah.
How the fuck did it get to their cellar?
Right.
It's not like it came with their house. They built the house.
They built the house, and then the statue is just in their cellar. It's like, the Necronomicon just shows up so you can raise the dead. I'm thinking this is simple. So this seems like it's some sort of attachment.
So what the
So-
stories that I found, whether it be on both sides, the lack
Mhm.
of evidence, the possibility of being, whether it be divine or demonic,
Right.
the way it's kind of moved throughout the ownership, I think I kind of liked the attachment on this thing. It kind of,
Yes.
I was like, I think it's kind of good. I think it's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's the first one I'm really scoring. So I put it at a 7. I didn't go, super high. I thought it was better than mid range though. And I went just above that mid range, and I
Yes.
put it at that 7 spot.
Yeah. I thought it was good too. I
Thank
actually
you.
went 6.
I thought
I went 6 for my score. I was like right there, but I was like, is it a 7? Is it a 5? So yeah, I ended up going 6.
See, I
But
did
for
the
the same
maybe
reason.
6. I did
Yeah.
the maybe
I-
6. I was like, is it
yeah.
7 or is it
I
maybe
did
a
the maybe
6?
7. I did the maybe 7. So I went 6.
So that's why I
we'll
stayed
be
at 7.
so we'll be 6.5 with that. Okay. The second category is haunting. So do we think there's any level of haunting here? And this would be more spiritual than anything else.
I well overscored this. I way overscored this because after the discussion and talking back and forth and talking about the families that died and things like that, there's no reports of them being tormented by something or anything
No,
like that. There's no records in the
no,
museums talking about, people being tormented or paranormal activity acting up in the museums or anything like that after receiving
right.
this thing.
What I want.
So I think I think there might be some sort of haunting here based off
Yes.
of what's happening with these families.
Yeah.
But if I really think about it after our discussion, I way overscored it. I think it should be more like a 3 or maybe a 4, right in that
Okay.
range for the haunting.
Yeah. Now I did go 5 personally to
Okay, you went.
start.
I went 8. I was like, this thing's fucking haunted, and
A
I'm
little high.
completely wrong there.
I went 5, and my reason was that it's made of pure limestone, so I know it's got spiritual energy in it.
Yes, and
And
I agree with that. And I
Speak.
thought about
But
that.
so I believe that's why I put dead middle. I put it at a 5 because I think there's a potential. If this is some sort of soul stealing item, then there's more spirits in there than we
Yeah,
think.
which could still be divine, not necessarily demonic.
No, exactly. It could be divine. It could be, well, either way, it's angelic because demons and all that
Yes,
stuff, it's all on the hierarchy, right?
yeah.
Um, so I ended up going 5. I could definitely see a 4, but I wouldn't go over 5 for sure.
No, I definitely wouldn't go over 5.
Not.
I I think the right score here is meeting in the middle here and going 4. I think that
Let's go
would be
for it.
the right
I'm
score here.
I'm good with that, bro. I'm good with that. Now, curse is the third one. So this is if there's a curse, meaning bad luck befalls the people who own it. The accidental deaths
Why are you here?
I
for people that own it
here
or touch it. I think this is a big
this was a 10
number.
for me. This was a
Yeah,
10 for me.
I went 9, but it deserves to be a 10.
I went 10 here
Yeah.
with the amount of death that was happening,
Yeah.
whether or not, the alleged deaths that are happening, depending on which side of the coin you want to look on. All I gotta say is you'll find the same amount of information on that side of the coin as you do on this side. Um,
Mhm.
I went with this side of the coin and I went 10 with the curse here. Too many people
I'm scared.
died in correspondence with this statue
Leave it.
to not be a 10 for me.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that.
We're at a 10. All right. So how did you
Okay. So the
activity?
next
How do you
score,
define activity here?
this is kind of like we did evidence for the cryptids. Okay, so this is
Okay.
activity. This is the activity that the artifact does. So
Okay.
what if we know it seems to have a curse, it seems to kill people, anybody it touches. So things like that. This is activity, the activity that the artifact does. Like,
Okay. So all right, I'll take
so
the curse. I'll take the curse into
mhm.
I might have underscored it, but I'll take the curse into I don't know the words tonight. Maybe
And
I'm
I think
scatterbrained too.
the and I was wondering if there was something with this artifact that's because when I started working on this, I started getting confused.
Yeah, I've been lost of
And
words all night, huh? Like I
and yeah,
can't
I was talking to somebody earlier today. I was having trouble completing a sentence. It was
that's
really
weird.
weird.
Sarah.
Um, and I don't know if
So if I,
it's weird
if
that
I take
both of us are having stuff like that happen. Um,
we
but
can't both be
yeah,
having a stroke at the same time.
I hope not. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I ended up going a little higher here because the owners,
I was gonna
things that
say
have
that
happened.
okay. So if I take the curse into account, and
Yeah.
then what really for me on the activity though is the change of ownership.
Yes.
Like there's no records of them buying the statue. It's like it's always and now this family has the statue. Like they just have it. And like the last one, the River Brooks, they finding it and for some odd reason in their cellar. Like I said, and it's not like they bought the house from somebody. These are people that build their own places and then live their whole familial lives there with their whole generations of families living there.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. Like there's not even a record of how it ended up from Cyprus into Europe, going from Lord Elephant to Ivor Munichi.
Yeah.
Like it just ends up.
It just did. It just was there.
Yeah. No auction buys, nothing like that.
Yeah.
So I think the change of ownership. I think I have to account for that in the activity.
Are you scared?
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a
little bit.
So I ended up giving this an 8. I think it's a very active artifact.
I originally put this as a 6, but because that ownership thing, I think 8 is the right number here. I was just going to say that. 8, I think, is the right number here for the activity. There's strange things happening, and I'll even put in the fact of where it came from. Like it just appeared. No records of the dig or anything. Like it's bam, it's there.
Right. It's bam. And that brings us to provenance. And the provenance, like you said, is chain of custody. So this is, and this was weird. I wasn't sure how to score this because this is like,
there is a chain of custody, but there's no records of chain of custody.
There's no records of it happening or how it happens. Just that it's found in 1878. It goes to these 4 different owners somehow. It ends up at this museum, but there's no record of that.
Yeah.
Kills the curator.
Yeah.
And then I've got to also account for that bogus article that, seemed to not be bogus, that said this was bogus, but then that turned out to be bogus. So I ended up going to 10 here. I ended up going to 10 on the provenance because I think the mystery of how it's moved from place to place and, where it's gone and where it's ended up makes it that much more interesting.
I was originally at a 7. After the discussion and everything, and like with activity and attachment, and I think 10 is the right number here. I think 10 is the right number here.
It's just, the story behind it is so fascinating. It's just, and I don't know. I can't wrap my head around it, but it's amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what are you doing? My dog's spazzing out right now. So now we're going to the next category, which is visual. So this is like sightings. This is seen evidence that's happened. Is there anything visual? And the only thing that I'm coming to is the artifact itself and how it moves from place to place, because it's not seen. It just appears.
Yeah. I mean, I think this will probably be a low number here. I scored it originally at an 8. I thought, because everybody's seeing the artifact, everybody can go to the museum and see the artifact. There's a lot of visuality to it.
You're welcome.
Whether or not there be records of them owning it, you can go to either. I don't know which museum it's in now, but one of the museums you can go in there and see it because we have pictures of it under glass.
Yeah.
So it's in one of these museums, but nobody has records of it being in their museum. So you can go see it. But as visual evidence is concerned of what it can do or what it does, there's not a lot.
No.
Unless you count the dead bodies it leaves in its wake as visual evidence.
Yeah. And I did give a little bit to that.
But my 8 is way too high.
I went 4 with this.
I think it's 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Right. And if you went 4 and I'm 4,
I mean,
Well,
if you want to match,
if you went 4 and I'm thinking 4 or 5, I would go with 4.
yeah, let's go 4.
Yeah, I'd meet you there.
I'd meet you there.
Audio. Easiest one out here. This thing makes no noise.
No, there's no noise. The audio that I gave this, and I think I scored it too high. The audio I gave this was in the people talking about this artifact.
See, now I put that into the emotion category, not the audio category.
I do agree that's emotion, but yeah, otherwise this artifact doesn't make noise. It doesn't seem to create any audible effect that kill the people. It seems they just die when they touch it. So, which is more physical than anything else.
Yeah.
I originally went a 5, but this is a 1 or a 2.
I put it as a 1.
Yeah,
I was at a 1. I saw no audio evidence here at all.
I think 1 is right. Now,
unless for some reason it's creating a high pitch that nobody can hear except for fucking dogs, and it's fucking people have brain aneurysms, maybe then, but we still can't hear it.
Yeah.
But I'd give it a 2 for that.
I was going to ask my dog, can you hear it? He's like, huh?
Worried.
I guess.
So
Be
1.
worried.
Are we in agreement on a 1 here?
Yeah, we'll go 1. I think that's right. Physical. So yeah, this is physical object. Right? Yeah, physical object, same. So it only deals its damage by touch. So physical is the way to go.
Yeah.
And it itself is an object. That's default. So
yeah.
Any haunted object automatically gets default. Yeah, the way it moves around is interesting. But is that physical? I don't know.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if it's physically moving or if it's materializing somewhere else.
Well, it's moving, right? Movement is physical. If I get even on Star Trek, if I just get beamed to another location, I'm still physically being beamed to another location. It's physically moving.
Your physical matter is getting changed to energy, shifted over here, and then changed back to matter.
Which is pretty much the whole thing of dimensional travel.
So I really think I underscored the physical here.
I went 9 on the physical.
And I think that's good. I went 7, but I definitely agree with the 9.
All right.
Emotional. And again, emotional is the same thing. And I got to say, if this is still in that museum or wherever it's at, it's under lock and key. You're not allowed to touch it. You have to wear gloves. There is a genuine fear of this artifact.
Yeah, I found the emotional aspect of this thing high because I took an account of these people watching their families die in front of them just for having this object and the turmoil that they went through and not understanding why their family members are just dying. So I went a 9 again on the emotional aspect here. I thought the emotional is big.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think the emotional is big. I went 10 here on the emotion.
Ooh. Wow.
And originally I was thinking, okay, maybe I overscored that. But I have to consider something, and I think that's going to give it the bump that it needs to make it a 10. And it's been my level of confusion since this whole thing started.
You know, that's a possibility. That's I'll take that into account. I'll be like I said, I've been lost of words since we started talking about this. That's very weird. I know I stumble on my words a lot, but I usually find it.
Yeah, it's just been, I don't know. It's been hard to really focus on it and like to really dig and find the truth. It's been really hard. And yeah, I don't know if that's I don't know if that's supernatural, if that's coming from the artifact or what, but I've never had this before doing any type of history of any
Please
artifact.
listen.
Yeah, well, we're listening, but where the show that we're doing on Scare Network, that history thing was easy.
Oh yeah.
This one, I was all over the place, bro.
That's crazy. I'll give it that bump to the 10. I'll take in account of what's happening with you.
This is my place.
Even my scatterbrainness since we started talking about this and my loss of words when trying to describe something. It's very, like I said, I know I stumble when I'm trying to say stuff, but I usually find it,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it that 10. I'll give it that extra bump and take it to the 10 there.
Yeah, it's really, really weird. And I don't know if it's related to the artifact or not, but it's unusual. It's never happened with anything else we've talked about.
No, especially with you. Like I said, I do stumble on my words, but I also smoked weed since I was age 7. So, how did you end up at the danger here?
I just think this thing can kill anything it touches. So I was at a 10 on the danger. I think it's a death rock. It's just I just don't.
It's very possible.
It's a soul eater, or it's got some kind of chemical toxicity to it that it's killed more people than Michael Myers.
Yes. 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 So,
and
all right.
I think that's something you got to think about. So I don't know.
The doll.
The doll.
So what's the final score here? No, we're not talking about the doll yet.
Talking about the doll. Whoa. Okay. She's excited. What are you doing?
So what does that bring our final score to?
The final score for the Women of Lemb Statue gets a 72.5, rounded up 73.
What was your original score?
My original score was 72.
Electric. Mine was 75. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. We were still pretty close to each other, and I was worried about that. I was wondering how far apart we'd be.
I was wondering too. I was like, where are we going to be with this? Because it's our first one. So, but you know what? Pretty good, I think.
Okay. Oh, we got Reed coming in. Do we know if all the family members who died actually touched it, or just them having it sealed their fate?
There's 2.
Don't necessarily know.
No.
The only one we know for sure touched it is Lord Elephant, Ivor Minucci, Lord Thompson Knoll, Sir Alan Biverbrook, and the first curator.
Yeah.
Those are the only people we know for sure touched it.
Yeah.
We don't know if the family members themselves touched it.
Yeah.
Also curious if they clean it at the place it's housed now, or if they never open that glass case.
They do clean it.
They very rarely open it, but if they do clean it, they do have to wear specialized gloves to where no physical contact is actually made. No skin contact is actually made to this thing, and nobody's died since then. So whatever they're doing it the right way.
But yeah, I think read that first question. I think when it's under ownership, anybody involved in the ownership, that family is who gets killed. I don't think they necessarily have to touch it. But we think that it's something that has to be passed by touch. So, but we don't know for sure if all the family members touched it. Because the 2 sons that brought the artifact to the museum,
they had to touch it, but they could have wrapped it though.
They could have wrapped it in a blanket or something and not touched it.
I'm leaving.
Okay, go to the Figueroa.
Mhm.
So big question
right.
here, Dave. Normal, regular object. What side of the coin are you? This is not a cursed object, or this is a cursed object, or
I don't know.
attached object. How do you
I
want
don't.
to?
I don't know. I honestly don't know what this thing is, or where it came from. Without all the details, I don't. Somehow, I don't think it's a curse. I don't know why, but I think it's chemical.
You're listening.
Okay.
Where are you?
It's solid limestone, and it's this big. I would say it weighs
About what?
and I don't know for sure, but probably around 20 to 30 pounds, I think.
Yeah, about 2 feet tall of pure limestone.
Yeah.
18 inches to 24 inches tall is what I guesstimate it to be based off the pictures. Pure limestone, probably about 6 to 8 inches thick at its belly spots. So I probably about anywhere between 30 to 50 pounds is probably where I put it.
Yeah.
Limestone's a pretty heavy rock.
Yeah.
The part that bugs me is not knowing where it came from. That
Yeah.
really bugs me.
There's got to be.
Guilty.
Yeah, I guess that's guilty. Yeah, that's the thing. There's not enough information about it to where I can say what I feel. I believe it's chemical, but I still believe that it could be divine. It could be demonic. It could be from the future.
Yeah.
It could be from
There's again more questions than what we're getting answers to. And so I'm going to put an NA or a UA. I'm going to put UA, unanswerable.
Yeah. Unknown artifact.
It is
just I'm not sure what it is. I think the closest thing to consider is that it's a cursed object. That's the closest thing.
Yeah.
But I think, they haven't done any tests on it to see if it's toxic. All they've done is they've carbon dated it, and they're like, okay, anybody who touches it dies, so nobody touch it anymore.
Yeah, which is crazy. So I'm going to put unanswerable here for whether it's cursed or not, because I think it still leaves more questions than it does answers.
There's two apparently.
Oh, well, they've only found one.
I know. So, I wonder if there's a second one somewhere, or are they two and they keep switching around, which is why they think it's in a different place.
Oh, Jesus. Wow. Maybe they did find two different ones, one in 1878 and one in 1970.
Right.
Oh, that's a scary thought too.
But all right, that was a good first show, bro. That was
for our first really dive into the cursed objects, the new scoring system. Well, I know you had the scoring system before.
Well, I've had it for a little while, but we've never scored anything with it yet.
Never used it.
Yeah.
So this is I liked it. I enjoyed this discussion a lot.
It was a lot. Yeah, it was fun.
This was a fun discussion. Very serious discussion. It was kind of weird. I don't very rarely are we this serious when we're talking about something. But we're like, check this shit out.
Yeah, because we're both confused as to what the hell's going on with this thing. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. It was very crazy. It was very crazy. Oh.
The doll.
I think I'm
left
with more.
That's the second time it said the doll.
The doll. No, we're not talking about him yet. Or her yet.
Or them. We're not talking about them.
We're not talking about them. Don't tell me it's outside.
The doll, it's outside. Oh shit.
I'm sorry. I'll send you an email.
I apologize. I didn't take your picture, honest.
I did not.
It wasn't me.
I said, finish
Asylum.
Jose. I'm not drinking tequila tonight.
Nope, no Cuervo.
But very, very interesting. Very interesting discussion. Loved it.
That was fun. Good first score. I'm liking it.
Yeah, 73. Not bad.
Not bad. All right. Let's give thanks to Spotify for podcasters before we go, because they take the audio portion of our podcast and they put it out on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music, all for free. They sponsor us. They give us more sponsors once we get more followers. So if you guys even get a chance, go over to Spotify, look for Spirits with Spirits, give us a follow on there, and then you can listen to us on your favorite podcast station.
Yeah, let's not forget to thank StreamYard, because StreamYard is why you're able to see our beautiful faces everywhere, whether it be the Spirits YouTube page, the Spirits JD Facebook page, or at Spirits on Instagram, or even Spirits on Twitter. We're not necessarily live there anymore, but we used to be. But we want to thank StreamYard, because without them, we wouldn't be able to do the multicast to all those different locations.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we have to thank a big thank you to Scare Network and the guys over there. They're freaking amazing. They got us signed up for season 2, which is freaking amazing. In fact, here shortly, we're going to be going over there and recording episode 2 for season 2, which will be King Tut's Tomb. That's going to be another fun discussion. That's going to be another fun discussion.
Yeah, that's going to be a blast. I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, Billy and the guys over there at Scare Network TV, they really taking care of this. We also have our new show called Brews and Reviews, which is going to be on their YouTube channel. You guys, I just sent them the first episode yesterday. So, and it was on the documentary called The Bel Air House. So that was a great discussion talking about that, and I'm hoping to see that on YouTube here shortly, probably early next week.
That's gonna be cool. The review on the documentaries over there. That was really fun. I quite enjoyed doing that.
Yeah. And before we get out of here, Reed asked what we've got going on for next week. Next week.
But go ahead, Dave.
All right. Well, next week is our first episode of our alien events episodes, where we're going to be looking at events through history that are alien or appear alien in origin.
Cool.
And we're going to discuss the history on it, the cover-up that have happened, the documentation, any physical evidence, any pictures and stuff that was happening, and then we're going to score those and judge whether we think that this was an actual alien encounter or whether we think it was a hoax or some sort of big time cover up or whatever, to where we're going to answer that question. So that's going to be fun. Our first episode next week will be on the Phoenix lights. We're going to take a look at the lights in Arizona and everything that was attached to that. And then on Scare Network TV, our first alien episode there is going to be on the Roswell crash. And we're going to really take a deep dive into that and see what we think actually happened.
That's going to be so fun. So much fun. Man,
I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to talking about the Phoenix lights. That's going to be a blast.
Phoenix lights going to be so much fun.
It's going to be so much fun. But I've always wanted to dig into Roswell.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to dig into Roswell, right? And give our own opinions on what we thought and what's happening. That's going to be a great discussion for Scare Network. I think everybody that goes over there and watches our stuff on Scare Network is really going to enjoy that. And then,
and you guys, subscription is free for Scare Network. You just go to scarenetwork.tv, or you can go on the Roku app and look for Scare Network. Pretty soon they're going to have Amazon Fire, Apple TV Plus, and Apple iOS and Android phones too will be able to have the app. So pretty soon you'll be able to get it. Yeah, pretty soon that's going to be done. But for right now, you can get it off the website, or you can go to the Roku app and use that. So if you've got a Roku TV, you can just jump on the Scare Network, free subscription. You get ads, and the ads aren't even that bad, guys, because they're a lot better than what you get on YouTube. But but yeah, the more people we get on there, the bigger Scare Network gets, and that's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see Billy get his dream.
Oh yes, yeah. I love watching people win. I'm a fan favorite of it.
Yeah, we're definitely cheerleaders.
So we are out of here for tonight. We will be back next week again, same bat time, same bat channel.
Mm-hmm.
And we again appreciate everybody that listens, that watches, whether it be replay or live, that everybody that joins in on the chat, everybody that is now showing up on Instagram. I'm loving that. But we appreciate everybody out there, and we hope everybody has a great weekend, as Reed said.
Yeah, have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you so much for being on with us. Also, just keep February 2nd in your minds, because that is going to be our 100th episode, and we're looking forward to having just a big bash. That's going to be awesome. Huge. We're going to do Q&A. We're going to just talk shit, have a blast talking about the paranormal and drinking alcohol. And I think we're
maybe you guys can share some of your personal experiences. Me and Dave are going to be sitting right next to each other for the first time of doing this show. Shots. I'm gonna have to go buy some Japanese beer for Dave.
Yeah, I'll go with you. I'll pick it out. But all right, yeah, I think we make like horse shit and go on to the next owner. But yeah, you guys, thanks for watching Spirits with Spirits. We'll see you next week for our first alien episode. Until then, we're gonna say good night. Be safe. Have a great weekend.